it's Olivia, and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned into my latest video and wanted to join me on my new journey back on YouTube. So thank you so much to everyone who commented, liked, subscribed, and just watched the video in general. Thank you so much. It felt so good to be back, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. And now, as you've seen from today's title, we are talking about dark academia.
What's that?
Now, I really debated whether or not I was going to do this topic or not, because I didn't know if this was too niche of a book reference for my people who are not big readers and or people who are like, I don't even know what dark academia is.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
And if I'm being honest, I couldn't even give you a definition.
Well, that's just great.
I mean, I guess I could if I looked it up. Maybe I'll do a little like insert editing footage of me here. Hi, it's me editing, and I would like to give you guys a definition of dark academia. It says on Google, dark academia is an internet aesthetic and subculture concerned with higher education, the arts and literature, and or idealized versions thereof. Such activities can include calligraphy, museum visits, libraries, coffee shops, all-night studying sessions, along with other proponents, and seasonal imagery of autumn is also common. So I think I pretty much hit the nail on the head there, if you think about it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. But essentially, my biggest grip on it and like what I understand dark academia to be is essentially it is books that take place in academic settings, whether that's like college, a school, a studying course of some sort, or like some sort of like academic setting.
You're kidding, right?
Of fantasy, of fiction, some sort of like mystical element. I would even consider like Harry Potter is a version of like dark academia.
Keep away from me.
You're not allowed to do magic outside school.
Yeah? Try me.
I wouldn't say it's like as dark academia can get, but it's a version of like books that take place like in an academic setting and books that like have magic in them and have magic systems in them.
I know what it means.
And like I mentioned in my last video, 2023 was the year of academia, or what I would consider like dark academia, and like was following the same vibes. Now, if I had to give you a vibe checking right now. Slightly gothic, kind of spooky, a little bit dark, a little bit scary. Yes, like
it has the vibes, it has teeth. Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
that's like one of the only ways that I know how to describe dark academia. And if you don't understand me, then like you're just not on the same playing field, baby.
You're not on the same playing field, baby. But
This little guy's on the level. You're doing cooking, I'm on the level.
Like it's a book that bites. It's a book that has teeth. It's a book that like tears into you a little bit because it like has the most like the morally gray of morally gray, the twists and turns of like plot twist after plot twist. It's just very like eerie, spooky, but also a ton of like enemies to lovers, a lot of knives to throats, if you get what I'm saying, ladies.
Each sinner is afflicted for all of eternity by the chief sin he committed. Mine would be horniness.
So all the books that I'm here to recommend to you today are books that like that I adore, that I think are some of the best of dark academia that dark academia has to offer, and I cannot wait to talk to you about them today. The first book that I have to recommend, and one that I've already gone on and on with, is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Now, I would consider, and I've decided today that for this video, I'm going to be going in a scale order of like from least dark academia to most dark academia. Like what has the vibes. So Divine Rivals is an excellent example of dark academia and or like enemies to lovers, rivals, but in a work setting. So, as I've already gone over the plot with you in my last video, and if you have not seen it, please feel free to check it out. But this book is about Iris Winnow, and she works at a newspaper company, and she's writing for her paper. She's a journalist, and she has a rival with her, Roman Kit. He's her rival in the workplace. And this book has the vibes of like dark academia because it has a lot to do with typing, journaling. It's about the war front. It's about like a war that's going on that these two people are writing on and that Iris decides to get more involved with, and she actually goes to the war front. Roman ends up following her. It's like a whole thing.
how romantic.
It's hot, it's sexy, it's academic, it's educational, it's just everything that you want.
Brainy's the new sexy.
And don't get me wrong, I love my 6'4" Daddy Rowan Whitethorn with his tattoos and his big muscles and his dreamy eyes, and The way that he just like can just like take you in his arms and like pick you up and like run at full speeds. Like, it's really just like the best of the best.
I have a mental problem. I'm lacking in the brain department that makes me this way.
But sometimes you want a schoolboy. Sometimes you want someone who's a little more in the educational side of things. A literary, a scholar, a poet, if you will. Roman Kit has those qualities.
You are a scholar, are you not? Judging from your diminished physique and large forehead, you are suited for nothing else.
And that's something that I love about this, like, mild, this is like the most mild version of Dark Academia. Other people might not agree that this falls into Dark Academia. I personally think it does because of the rivalry and the, like, premise of it and the magic system in this one. But I digress. Your own opinions are your own, and personally, I'm right, you're wrong, so shut up. I'm right. This is a mild Dark Academia, so I hope that you'll check this one out. Give it a go. It's a flawless book. It's 5 stars in my book. The next book that I want to talk to you about in the, like, up the category, we're up to a level 2 in Dark Academia, is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. Currently, I do not have the book. It's on loan to a friend. Here's a lovely picture of what the book looks like. It's fabulous. Ava Reid is a great author, and she writes a lot of, like, if you've read any of her other stuff, which I have, she writes a lot of, like, gothic, very spooky, scary, sometimes very, like, twisted and dark stuff. This one's a YA, which, like, personally didn't know if I was going to enjoy. Ended up loving it. It's fabulous.
Somebody's fabulous!
But A Study in Drowning, just to give you, like, a quick plot summary, is about a young girl named Effie. She is an architect student. She's the only female in the, architect student in her major. Anyways, she goes through some things at school. Some stuff goes down. Stuff that my bleeding feminist heart, like, cannot handle. If you're catching my drift, ladies, you will be enraged. It's just the worst. Anyways, and she's trying to find a way to, like, escape this, essentially. And she finds out that her favorite author, who has passed, like, long since passed, his estate is being redone, like his house estate, and she's an architect student. So she submits her bill to, like, go and, like, redo his house, like the estate. And they take her bill on it, they take her bid, and she ends up going to this, like, spooky estate, like, out in the middle of the countryside, like, in the moors, and there's no one around, and it's very, like, abandoned, spooky vibes. But when she gets there, she finds that there's a journalist named Preston Hellery, I think is how you say his name, Preston Hellery, I think it's French. Anyways, he's there too, but he's investigating his own research as to the author of this estate, and, like, why he's so renowned, and, like, what is there more to the story of this author who has passed and they're redoing his estate.
That didn't make any sense!
Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, estate paperwork, architecture, like, journalism, like, boo, boring.
I'm bored.
Hi, Bored. Nice to meet you.
I know what you're all thinking, but I promise it really takes a turn. Like, it's very spooky vibes, very ghost and haunting vibes. These two academics are just, like, clashing the entire time, trying to find the right footing. Like, can they trust each other? Are they going to reveal a certain information to each other? They both have completely different backgrounds on, in, like, their belief systems and in their beliefs in this author that they're essentially, like, working for his estate. I know, I'm really selling you on this one, guys. I promise. I know, I'm just, like, totally hitting the nail on the head.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
I promise. It's a fabulous book. Ava Reid is an incredible author, and it's very, very well written. The romance was a little bit lackluster for me, so I only gave it a 4.5 stars. But I digress. It is still very well written and a book I thoroughly enjoyed if you're entering the Dark Academia world. So I do recommend it. Please go check out A Study in Drowning. The next book, and number 3 on the rating scale of Dark Academia, comes to Curious Tides by Pascal Lascelles. I think I'm saying that right. If I am mispronouncing your name and you ever see this video, Pascal, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're wonderful. But I digress. This is Curious Tides, and it is a fabulous Dark Academia. Now, this is where we start to actually really get into, like, this is a true Dark Academia. To give you a quick plot summary of Curious Tides, this book is about a young girl named Emery who is attending Aldrin College of Lunar Magics. Oh my gosh, try saying that 5 times fast. Aldrin College of Lunar Magics. Essentially, in this book, the magic system is all based around the moon cycles, which I think is very fascinating. moon. So everyone's powers in this book are all manifested through the moon cycles. So she is part of a certain house in the cycle, and she has healing abilities, but her healing abilities have always been like mediocre at best, until one night at Dovermere Cove where some terrible tragedy happens that she gains new abilities that she never knew she would ever get. She essentially has to befriend a young boy at the college named Baz, known for his very dark, very reclusive powers in the dark magics. And people don't like him because he works in dark magic, but I digress. They have to team up together to figure out what's going on at Aldrin College with a bunch of these students who are in the secret society. This one is very dark, very spooky.
I love it.
Like, we're starting to enter the territories of like slightly cultish behavior, and students are dying.
To tell you the truth, I'm a little concerned.
And the magic systems can get really spooky and really dark, and there's some suspicious activity going on. Like, stuff is going down. But it also has very much like college vibes. Like, these people are going to classes and they're drinking and they're partying and they're going to like the houses and the frat houses, and like other lunar cycle houses are hosting things. It's very fun. It's very, very cool magic system. And it has a really crazy twist at the end that you're just completely not expecting. At least it was unexpected to me. Maybe I'm dumb, but I thought it was unexpected. Curious Tides is an incredible book. I feel like no one is talking about this one enough on Book Talk, as in the Dark Academia realm. This was an incredible book that came out last year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely at 4.5 stars for me. It is a really fun one. I think there's going to be a sequel. I'm not sure. But please go check out Curious Tides if you're wanting to get into something really spooky in the Dark Academia realm. The next book, and probably one of my favorite books that I'm going to recommend. Like, this might be like, I love this book series. It's a duology, but I'm going to show you the first one. It's truly like one of my favorite books. I don't know what it is. It just like scratches this itch in the back of my brain that like makes me a little bit crazy.
She's lost her mind.
I don't know what it is about the morally gray and the fighting and like the knives to throats behavior of it all. But this is All of Us Villains by Christine Lynn Herman and Amanda Foody. To give you guys a quick plot summary of All of Us Villains, this book starts at the turn of every generation. At the start of the blood moon, each of 7 families must select a champion to compete in a tournament to the death. And what's the prize? Exclusive offerings, exclusive access to the wellspring of high magic, all of it, until the next generation turns over. So essentially, there are 7 families with 7 teenagers, young adults, whatever you want to call them, competing for high magic. So the 7 families have to compete in a tournament for like to the death, where they kill everyone except for the last person standing, and that person will win the high magic that they will then control for till the next generation, to the next blood moon. And that high magic is the highest currency in this world. The characters in this book are the most cutthroat, salacious, morally gray people that I have ever had the pleasure of reading about. Something about these people, like, there's just something inherently evil about most of them. Like, there's something deeply wrong with them on the inside. And I love that. I love when there's something wrong with these people.
Oh, he's kind of cute. He's a murderer, but he's kind of cute.
Alliances are made, betrayals happen, like, it is cutthroat. And if you think you know what's going to happen in this book and where it's going to end up, just go and read All of Our Demise, book 2. It will change everything. The stakes completely change in book 2. The whole vibe changes in book 2. Everything is different. It is incredible. It's well crafted, well written, and just a load of fun. If you're looking for people who are just morally the most grotesque, which I love, please read All of Us Villains. I absolutely adore this book. And finally, last but not least, and our darkest one yet, which, I mean, honestly, it's totally obvious as to why I picked this one and the author whom I picked this one for. It is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. Now, this book is absolutely incredible. Olivia Blake, we know her, we love her. She's written some very, like, dark and spooky and gothic books before. This one is incredible. Now, I will say that some people in the comment section might be like, that book's not Dark Academia. Shh, okay? In my eyes, it reads Dark Academia. This one is very much like a Romeo and Juliet meets modern day Manhattan, but witches is totally the vibe of this book. To give you a quick plot summary, this book is about the Antonova sisters, who are a deadly force of women to be reckoned with. They are all witches. They are all powerful. They each have special gifts. And they run a criminal empire with their mother, Baba Yaga. On the other side, we have the Fedorovo brothers, who work for their father, Kyoshi the Deathless, which, like, if you don't know who Baba Yaga is and Kyoshi the Deathless is, these are people in, like, mythology. I can't remember if it's Russian or, if it's Russian mythology or if it's, like, Norse. It's not Norse. I think it's probably Russian, but I'm not quite sure. Please don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's Russian mythology. But they're, like, huge figureheads in the mythology for witchcraft and warlock. Kyoshi's a warlock. And wizardry and things like that. But I digress. It's a modern spin, so just roll with me for a second. So the modern spin on this is that these two families are each running their own separate criminal empires until one day they become intertwined because of two of the characters. That's where we get the Romeo and Juliet-ness of this all. It's a romance, but it's like bloody and messy and like people die and we don't know what's going on and...
They both die? What kind of an ending is that?
My dear boy, this is a tragedy.
Yeah, you're telling me, mate, it's rubbish.
Like, the like alliances are drawn, like betrayals are alliances are drawn, betrayals happen, like people are terrified of what's going to happen next between these two criminal empires. It's very spooky, very sketchy, very dark vibes. The book is cutthroat. It's very cutthroat. It's raw and it's real, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. Olivia Blake is just absolutely so talented. I gave this one 4 stars out of 5. It's incredible. I absolutely adore it. I think that everyone should go and read it. Please give this one a chance. It's absolutely fabulous. I love this book. Well, that is all the Dark Academia that I have for you guys today. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to comment down below which of those books was your favorite that you heard about or ones that you want me to talk about more. People, if you have video ideas, please send them my way. I am taking requests. I am taking requests for video ideas. But I digress. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have an amazing day. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.